Hey guys, good morning and welcome to the vlog. It's been a few days since I posted my last video and I've had a great feedback. We've had a good 2,000, maybe 2,500 views and a load of new subscribers. So thank you very much. Obviously the DJI Mavic footage is obviously appealing to a lot of people. We'll definitely be doing a lot more of that in the near future. But today I wanted to talk a little bit about some new accessories for the Mavic. So let me show you a couple of accessories that I've purchased recently for the DJI Mavic drone. One of the problems that I noticed when it was new and I was eager to start using it was that I would start the aircraft up with the gimbal protection in place. So this comprises two parts. You have this sort of transparent see-through cover that protects the lens, and there's also behind the camera there is this little thing that locks the gimbal in place, a little piece of plastic. Now the challenge with these is you have to remove this because the gimbal tries to calibrate itself and moves, and with this in place it won't. But it's not very obvious, and in the excitement of actually trying it out, you can forget that it's in place. So if I sort of bring the camera in a little bit, you can see this piece just slots down behind the gimbal, and I'm trying to do this one-handed, but as you can see that fits into there. Oops. And that holds the back of the gimbal in place. But like I say, this piece here, sometimes you forget that it's there, and it's not the most obvious thing in the world to remove. So I purchased this. This is from a company called Aero 3D. It's obviously a 3D printed gimbal protector and also lens cap. Now this fits onto the front of the camera, and if I sort of tip this down, you can see it's a little difficult to put on with one hand, but these two little clips go in the side, and this covers the front of the lens. So let me just pop it into place so you can see how it works. So it sits like that, nicely connected to the front of the unit there. So if I actually shake the Mavic, you'll see it's holding everything perfectly in place. So it's a nice little simple solution, but the fact it's bright red means that when you're excited and you're getting ready to fly, it's staring you right in the face. You can see immediately that you haven't removed the gimbal cover. There's nothing to stop you still using the original, but it doesn't fit in quite as well, and doesn't obviously connect to the back of the camera because this is pulling the camera slightly forward. So really it's one or the other. And then obviously you can put your protector over the front, clip that into place while it's in transit. But a nice little solution, £5. Obviously somebody 3D printed it and made them available. So aero3d.com if you want one of these. Nice little solution. I think a little bit better designed than this piece. So one of the other things that is a challenge sometimes when flying the Mavic is to make sure you don't get any extra sunlight entering from the sides. And just like with most cameras, a simple sunshade will solve this problem for you. And again, this is a 3D printed one from Aero 3D. I think it was about £5. As you can see, it's very similar to the plastic cover that comes, and it fits into exactly the same mount there. Just clip that into place, and there you can see we have a sunshade, and obviously when the camera is up and flying, there's no lights going to be coming in from the side, so you get a much more controlled environment, but without actually impacting the camera and its movement while the drone's in the air. So again, a nice little useful utility, not expensive, and something that, you know, for a few pounds you can just have in your bag for that one day when it's a little bit too bright and you actually need something like that. So again, useful thing to have for your drone. The third thing that I bought from Aero 3D is an accessory for the controller. So one of the things that worries me is when you put the controller into the bag, the sticks are loose and they sort of pop out, and they're going to get banged around inside a bag. So this is just a simple little protector made from slightly softer plastic than the the cover here. But as you can see, it's designed to slip directly over the sticks and also to protect the screen underneath. So we just push that on. It is a little tight because it's brand new. As you can see, that sits directly over the controller. It doesn't impede one of the buttons there. That's your little sort of four-way toggle switch. But it keeps the sticks centered. It stops them being banged around. And it's even got a nice sort of 3D printed DJI Mavic written on there. The tap to focus that I've written on in white paint on my controller is because I always forget in the excitement of flying to actually tap to focus the camera, so I end up with a lot of blurred video. So that's just to remind me to focus the camera. So these are just 3 simple accessories, I think a few pounds each, from a company called Aero 3D. This is not a paid advertisement for Aero 3D. I purchased these myself. They didn't send them to me, and I think, you know, they're low cost, but they seem to do the job. I'll actually be out flying with the sunshade as soon as the wind dies down, so I'll report back on how good it actually works. But just looking at it, I think it'll do the job pretty well. So as I promised earlier in the year, my plan is to take this vlog on the road, and even though we had a short trip to Amsterdam a few weeks ago, this really starts this weekend when I start the long journey out to China. So the plan is to fly from London through Dubai to Hong Kong, then we'll cross the border into China, go across to Shenzhen, then up to Beijing, back via Xiamen, back to Hong Kong, and after a weekend comprising of one day, fly down to Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, have a couple of days there, and then make our way home. So I hope to be able to bring you some interesting vlogs from my travels, and we'll see how they turn out. But yeah, next vlog on the plane to Hong Kong.